been looking in the mirror.
Oh, yes?
I saw this poor, tired old man, this stranger. I thought for a moment someone was looking over my shoulder, then I realized it was me.
We're not going to have one of those days, are we?
What have I done with my life? What's happened to it?
We are going to have one of those days. You usually wait until it's your birthday, and then it's what's happened to me, where am I going, and will I need false teeth?
They've stolen my life, Ros.
Who have?
The company. I've been with them 15 years. I arrived young and full of hope. Look at me now.
Things will get better, Ralph.
Well, they couldn't get much worse, could they?
I've got a feeling things are going to work out.
Work out? You still think life's an equation, don't you, Ros? It's going to come to an answer? Well, it's not. It's just a column of figures, and one day the great accountant draws a line, and that's it. Ralph West, all right.
Well, you've always wanted letters after your name.
This is not funny, Ros.
You'll get there, Ralph.
Get there? I've had my bags packed for 15 years, and I still haven't got there. I haven't even left the station. I wanted to be a success, Ros.
You are a success.
If I'm a success, why am I wearing your grandfather's suit? A suit I suspect he died in.
No, he didn't. That was the blue. Anyway, you are a success. After all, you did get Mr. Glover's job.
Well, I'm not being paid for it, am I? And it's only temporary.
It could be permanent. I saw Mr. Glover in the park yesterday.
How was he?
He was leaning very heavily on his stick.
You realize what we're saying, don't you? That the best thing that could happen to us is for Glover to pop his clogs. Dead men's shoes. Well, at least they'll go with the suit.
He doesn't have to pop his clogs. Just take early retirement.
Well, you better not waste any time. I'm not getting any younger. Neither are the children. They're growing up. They'll want ponies, wine with their meals, go to college.
They'll settle for a pile of sand at the moment.
I can't afford a pile of sand, I've told you.
Well, if you want them to play in the churchyard...
I don't want them to play in the churchyard. I just can't afford a pile of sand. I can't even afford to breathe.
Well, why don't you go and see Mr. Morley and pin him down?
Pin him down? That's like trying to pin a jelly down.
Make an appointment. Go through channels.
I don't have to. It's the annual staff review this week.
Ah, so that's what this is all about. You've nothing to worry about. Mr. Morley thinks the world of you. He's always said so.
Ros, he says that to me, but what does he say to them? More importantly, what's on the file?
What file?
That's a personal file on me. It's secret. I've never seen it. What's in it? There's something. Some black mark, something I did or said years ago that's being held against me. Perhaps just one small thing, but what is it?
I don't know. Have you put on clean socks?
What?
If there's going to be an interview, you better put on clean socks.
Your faith in clean socks is remarkable. You really think I'm going to get promotion because I'm wearing clean socks? They won't even know.
Yeah, but you'll know. That's all that matters. It'll give you confidence.
Oh, yes. I may not be the brightest, but at least I'll be the cleanest. I'm going. I think I will put on clean socks. Morning.
You're looking very spruce, Ralph. Haven't seen that suit before.
It was recently made to measure.
Who for?
Me. Times may be hard, but I can't afford to let myself go. I've got to keep up appearances. I owe it to the staff, Harvey.
Ah, I thought it might be because we have the career development interviews this week.
Oh, are they this week? Yes, didn't you know? I wondered why you were wearing the gold cufflinks. Better be careful, they'll think you don't need the money, Harvey.
Ah, that's where you're wrong, Ralph. Think small, stay small, and I've got big hopes for this year. More this hurt, I'm being headhunted.
Oh, who by?
British Gas.
I didn't know that. Yes, they've heard he's got more hot air than they have.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you're so talented, why are you still here?
And what about you? 15 years, you still haven't had promotion?
Well, they say that everybody rises until they reach a position in which they're completely useless.
I see you've reached yours.
Well, I'm still in the same position because I've made myself indispensable. I'm too useful where I am.
I couldn't do 15 years in the same job.
No one's asking you to. What's that on your jacket? Green stripes?
Yes, I was walking through the park this morning and, well, the sun was shining, flowers were blooming, and I thought, nature is wonderful. Who needs work? And then I sat on this park bench and found they just painted it.
Well, you can't go for your interview like that.
I don't care. I don't need this job. There's a whole world out there. All I need is a push.
You go in like that, you'll get one.
15 years in the same job, when there's a whole world waiting to be discovered. He's perched upon a high stool in London. And the Golden Gate is very far away. They caught him and they caged him like a squirrel. Now he's totting up accounts and going grey. But he will never, never, never sail to Frisco. And the very last thing that he will see are the sailormen a-dancing in the sunrise by the capstan that stands upon the quay.
More bloody poetry, Oswald. Are you aware it's your career development interview this week? Are you ready for it? Or do you wish to join the sailormen dancing on the quay?
No, Mr. Morley.
Then go downstairs to reception and keep an eye open for Mr. Bingley.
Yes, Mr. Morley.
My God, Ralph! What's he got on the back of his jacket?
Green stripes off a park bench, J.J.
And he's going down to meet the personnel officer, who is also a trained psychiatrist, looking like a demented zebra. Not in his strength. Norma.
Yes, Mr. Morley?
I'm going to go through the personnel files and prepare confidential reports. I don't wish to be disturbed.
Right.
Did you hear that? Confidential reports. What's in them, Norma?
I don't know. He keeps them in a locked cabinet.
And why? Because he's got all our little weaknesses written down.
You could have him for slander.
No, if he calls you a twit, that's slander. If he writes it down, that's libel.
Not if it's true.
Who says it's true?
Norma's right. Could be fair comment. A matter of opinion. Now, if he were to write down that you were a sex maniac, that would be libel.
Not if it's true.
Who says it's true?
Half the typing pool. I'm just going to the shops, Ralph.
Norma, I thought you did your shopping before you came in.
And be late for work.
You were late for work.
Was I? Never mind. I'll get you an elephant's foot.
What's that?
It's a big brown pastry full of cream. Looks like an elephant's foot.
Full of cream.
Yeah.
Yes, well, don't be long.
I've got an idea. Why don't you go in there and see if you can see what's in those files?
Why me?
Well, it'll be odd if I go in.
Oh, will it?
Yes. Well, you must have something you want to talk to J.J. about.
Oh, I have, actually.
Right, well, in you go. See if you can find out what it says about me.
I ask not to be disturbed, Ralph.
Just a quick word, J.J. It's about my prospects.
About your what?
My prospects. I wondered if you'd made any recommendation with regard to my salary.
With regard to what?
My salary?
I'm sorry, Ralph, you caught me on the hop. Have we discussed this?
Yes. You said you'd see if you could have my position ratified with regard to Glover's job.
Ratified.
And possibly backdated and made substantive.
Backdated and made substantive. A tall order, Ralph.
Well, that's what you said, J.J.
Sit down, Ralph. Have a digestive. What are you now?
Grade C, band 4, second increment.
As much as that?
Well, it's not that much, J.J. Not when you've got a wife, 3 children and a mortgage.
Well, I do sympathize, but this poor Glover to consider. He's leaning very heavily on that stick, taking his first faltering steps. What would he think if he were to find out you'd been backdated and made substantive? He could be back to the walking frame.
But, J.J.
I've done my best for you, Ralph, but you see, you're not qualified.
Neither are you.
We're not talking about me, we're talking about you. Excuse me. Yes? Oh, right. Thank you. I've left my lights on. We'll talk about this later.
Well, he's locked them in the cabinet. He keeps the key on his key ring.
Oh, that's all right. All these cabinets have duplicate keys.
And who keeps them?
I do. Just in case. Try this. I'll keep watch.
Why don't you try it?
Because I'm not supposed to be in here. Don't panic. Keep calm. Don't disturb anything.
Don't panic. Keep calm. Don't disturb anything.
What's she doing?
supporting 3 tons.
Would you like your elephant foot?
Not just at the moment, thank you, Norma. Could you fetch Harvey, please? What are you doing? Does it look like I'm being crushed?
Find that file, for God's sake. I've got the photocopier warming up.
Here you are.
What's this?
Your elephant's foot.
Looks like it's trodden in something.
Don't you want it?
Yes, it's lovely. Fantastic. That will be all, Norma.
You've got it. It's covered in cream. I told you not to disturb anything, and you've covered it in cream. This is no time for eating. Now put that back. Watch out for Morley.
Mr. Bingley from personnel. See you, Mr. Morley.
Behind here, Ralph. Put the file back?
Yes, while Morley was repairing his trousers. Are you sure we should be doing this? Those files are confidential.
Not from us. Our private lives in here. Listen to this. There is no doubt about his ambition, that the form it takes is not always attractive. He is inclined to be ingratiating, pompous, and all things to all men. He may not have the necessary qualities for promotion.
I'm sorry, Harvey. So what can I say? I know you've got your faults. We all have, but I don't see you like that.
That's not me, it's you. No, he calls me a schemer who enjoys plotting for its own sake. Me.
Right.
He says I'm a dreamer, out of touch with reality. I mean, have you ever met anyone more practical?
Oh, no, Osborne.
This is libelous. This is what has held me back all these years. I could sue him for this.
Oh, I wouldn't, Ralph.
What do you mean?
Well, it might be considered fair comment. I mean, there are elements. You know.
No, I don't know, Harvey. What are you trying to say? No one would recognize me from this. Pompous, ingratiating, all things to all men.
They're the elements.
What, do you mean you agree with them?
Oh, not exactly, no, but he has been observing you, and there are some grains of truth in there.
Osborne?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm just a dreamer.
I want you to flush these down the loo, Osborne.
Hello, J.J. Harvey. Ah, Ralph, there you are. I've carried out a few vital repairs, but now I must go home and get changed.
Yes. Sorry about that, J.J.
I should think so. Bingley will begin to think we're dressed by Oxfam. That reminds me. It's the interviews tomorrow. Now get Osborne out of that jacket. That boy, he's such a
Dreamer?
Yes. Remember, I want you at your best tomorrow. I shall put in a good word for you, of course.
Will you, J.J.?
Yes?
Well, that's all right then, isn't it?
Get that fixed!
What's the matter? What's happened?
Do you realize the whole of your life can be affected by an unknown hand writing something on a piece of paper?
Had a parking ticket?
No, I've been judged without even knowing it. If I were to describe someone as being pompous, ingratiating, all things to all men, someone in the company, and I'm not talking about Harvey, who would you think of? What are you smiling at?
It's you, isn't it?
You recognize me from that?
Well, not exactly.
Well, not exactly. But that's a wimp. If I'm a wimp, why did you marry me?
I love you.
Well, that's no excuse. You think I'm like that?
Well, there is another way of looking at it.
Oh, is there?
Yes. You do take yourself a bit seriously, but you're kind. You want to be loved. You don't like hurting people.
Don't I? Well, I've got news for you. I'm going to change. I'm going to be ruthless.
You can't change your nature, Ralph.
Oh, yes, I can.
Oh, in that case, you can start with the children. I've had to send them to bed. They've been playing in the churchyard again.
I've warned them about that.
They went with the boy in the gumboots.
I've told them to keep away from the boy in the gumboots. Have they been taking the flowers?
No. Bones.
Bones? What sort of bones?
Well, we don't know. The verger found them playing with these bones. He said he'd never seen anything so gruesome, and he was in Korea.
That does it. Jamie's old enough to know better.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to beat the boy.
You can't.
A thrashing will do him good.
But you've never done it before.
Well, it's about time I started. He must learn to obey.
You better get on with it, then.
Right. On second thoughts, you better do it. I'm stronger than you are.
Just nipping out, Ralph.
No, you're not. What? You're always nipping out. You nip out to the sweet shop, the cake shop, the sports shop, the toy shop. You even nip home to use the toilet, and that's 7 miles away. Well, you're not nipping out anymore. You've had your last nip, Osborne.
Let me get this right, Ralph. Are you saying I can't go out?
Got it in one.
What if I said my dog had been run over?
Your dog's been run over 4 times already, Osborne. Keep him on a lead.
What if I said my mother was in hospital?
Your mother's been in hospital more times than your dog's been run over. You're not going out.
No, you always let me go.
Not anymore. The days of wine and roses are over.
He can't stop you going out, Osborne.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't stop me.
Watch me.
You go, Osborne.
No, I'm going.
You go, you needn't come back.
He can't say that.
You can't say that.
I just said it.
What'll he do if he does go?
Yeah, what will you do?
Sack you.
Oh. Norma, could you just nip out?
She's not going either.
What?
You've got those statements to type. I want them by 12.
I don't take orders from you. I take them from Mr. Morley.
You'll take orders from me, and if you don't, you'll be back in that typing pool so fast your head'll swim.
What's happened to you? I remember when you were nice.
I'll tell you what's happened. It's the career development interviews. They're having an effect.
Get your feet off that desk, Harvey, and get on with your work.
And what if I don't?
I'll have you up in front of JJ so fast your feet won't touch the ground. And don't tell me you're being headhunted. No one wants your head, Harvey. Boiled, baked, or served on a plate with an orange in its mouth. You're hanging in here by your fingernails, and don't you forget it. So get your feet off that desk unless you want to see the inside of the Social Security office. Now get on with your work, all of you.
Oh, Ralph.
Yes.
Would you come through now? We're ready for you.
Well, thank you for your time, Ralph. That all seems very satisfactory.
Yes, you're doing a grand job, Ralph.
Keep up the good work.
Oh, no little weaknesses you'd like to tell me about?
Oh, good heavens, no. Easy to get along with, popular with the staff. Excellent.
Not too popular?
What? Oh, no, as you can hear, Mr. Morley speaks most highly of you.
Yes, but what does he say when I leave the room?
Have a ginger nut, Ralph.
Is there something you wish to say, Ralph?
Yes. I've been sitting here for the past 20 minutes listening to how wonderful I am. You've said so many nice things about me, I thought I'd died. Well, what I want to know is if I'm so wonderful, what am I doing here? I should have the chairman's job, instead of which I'm on grade C, band 4, second increment. I'm doing 2 men's work, and I'm not even being paid for 1.
But, Mr. West, Ralph.
I've got 3 children, and I can't even afford to buy them a pile of sand.
A pile of sand.
I've been coming to these interviews for the past 5 years, and as far as I'm concerned, they're concentrated codswallop. I'm in the same position I was 5 years ago. And don't tell me it's lack of qualifications, because the only qualifications he's got is a medal in ballroom dancing. It's obvious my face doesn't fit in around here. Well, you've had your chance. As far as I'm concerned, this interview is over, and you know what you can do with your ginger nuts.
That, the ingrate. After all I've done for him.
Still, he has a point, J.J.
As a point, he's cracking up, just like Glover. Didn't you see that vein throbbing in his temple?
He is doing the job, and we can't afford to lose him at the moment. Put him up to grade B, Pro Tem.
Grade B? But that's ridiculous. He's falling apart. He was positively foaming.
I think that's frustration. We had a similar case in Leeds. He went for the chief accountant with a meat cleaver.
Well, if you think it's for the best.
Tea, Harvey?
Thanks, Norma.
There we are. Osborne?
Yes, please. Thank you, Norma. Any tea for me, Norma?
Yes. And I hope it chokes you.
What about a cake? Would you like a cake, Harvey?
If Ralph's talking to me, Osborne, will you tell him I haven't finished with these figures?
I can't, Harvey. I'm not talking to him.
What about some cakes, Norma?
I can't go out.
Well, who says?
Some pompous official?
What about 4 elephant's feet? I'll buy them.
Then you get them.
But I'm sorry, Norma. I'm sorry, everyone. I can't keep this up. Can't we just forget it?
Do you mean that?
Yes.
4 elephants' feet coming up.
Celebrating Ralph?
Yes, a farewell party. Probably got the sack after what I said in there.
I've just seen Bingley off, Ralph. I'm afraid we didn't make a very good impression. Still, I've done my best. Managed to get you a grade B.
Well, thank you.
You look surprised. Didn't you know I was all heart?
Well, yes, but...
And after all, you know everything that goes on around here. I wonder why.
But I just keep my eyes open, J.J.
By the way, I found this in my private and confidential file. I believe it's yours.